Welcome. It is the Ski Bum Podcast, episode number 321, and it is your pals, Mario and Brian. Mario, what's up?
I'm feeling a little excited that Snowbound is coming up, and we're going to be doing some ski stuff with some people in Boston. And I don't know, I was thinking about Boston today. I was talking to somebody, and I didn't realize like how much I've been to Boston in my life. And I love that city. I hate the sporting teams, but I love the city.
Ship it up to Boston, dude. Yeah, we are going to be up at Snowbound in just a few days. And when this podcast comes out, we'll probably either be there or we'll be en route there. So we're going to talk about Snowbound a bit. Last week we talked about All Time, Warren Miller. I saw it. I experienced the film. Give you a little bit of a touch of a recap. Just close out the uncertainty that a lot of us had going into it after seeing the announcement of what it was going to be. It was not what I expected, but it was pretty good. I'll just leave it at that for now.
Pretty good.
Check out pretty good. So check out more in the main topic. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. We are on the socials, X, Facebook, Instagram, Untapped, YouTube. We are at Ski Bum Podcast. Do you want to be part of the podcast? Do you want to support the podcast? Do you want to be kindred spirits with us? You can do so. Patreon.com/skibumpodcast. We got a couple different tiers. We may add a special tier. There will be a new tier probably by next week. Definitely before Thanksgiving. There's going to be a $100 a month tier. That is the Pajama Jammy Jam tier. You will actually get producer credits in the show. We will
so they will contribute and produce.
You will get producer credits. So
nice.
You know, it's pretty
build
big
your
deal.
Portfolio. Yeah,
pretty big deal. It's almost like you're like a venture capitalist in a way, supporting this. Pretty great in the stage. You're getting in on the ground floor.
You could be the talk of your neighborhood.
You could be. Right? You could be the toast of Aspen. Who knows? So check out patreon.com/skibumpodcast for that. Send us an email, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. We forgot to mention it for the last couple episodes, but we also have a shop. If you want some swag, skibumpodcast.com/shop. Sweatshirts, hats, t-shirts. There's some good stuff. Also, we got a couple other things on the docket. It's almost ski season. For some folks, it already is ski season. You still have a small window to do a little bit of training and get ready. Best way I can tell you to get some gear, 10,000. 10,000.cc. Yeah, not even .com. It's .cc. Too many letters. Athlete led. The only way to become the best is to work with the best. That's what they do there. Their motto, better than yesterday. At the heart of 10,000 is the idea of pursuit in business, fitness, life, and skiing. They believe in moving forward with a quiet dedication to constant improvement and to be becoming just a little bit better than they were yesterday. You're not going to ski yourself into shape. You got to do some yoga, maybe some biking. You do a little CrossFit. Plenty of things you can do, but you need some gear. Keep you looking fresh, tight, ready to go. If you go to 10,000.cc, we got a code. B Schneider 15, BSCHNEIDER 15% off. Get some interval shorts. Got the interval pants. Tremendous. I love it. Check them out.
Nice.
Also, like we mentioned, Snowbound. I think they actually have a few free tickets left. Snowboundexpo.com. Check it out. November 3rd through 5th. We're talking more about it in the main topic. Boston Convention and Exhibition Center. They're back. Going to have Sean White, Lindsay Jacobellis, Ted Ligety, and on and on and on. If you haven't, we've talked about Snowbound so much now, you better know everything about it. You're probably already going, but if you're not,
better have your stuff ready already.
.com. Seriously, Mario, let's kick this off the way we always do.
It's time for Opry Today.
I have a wonderful, good old-fashioned dogfish head.
Ooh.
The 90-minute. Still chipping away at these guys. They're not They're not beers I really could just pound away. It's just kind of you gotta sip them like a gentleman. So I got it in my nice sip of sunshine glass, just as an homage.
Sometimes I think about that Dogfish Head tasting we went to, and I still can't believe I was able to drive home after that. That was rough.
We had the 120. They had the 120 on tap someplace, and I went with John middle of the day. I think it was a Saturday afternoon, and we're like, got nothing to do. He's gonna meet his cousin or something. He's like, when's the Shepherd and the Knucklehead in
Yeah.
forgot what town that is in Jersey there. Went there and they had it on tap and
Oof.
sat down. I had like 2 of those bad boys, and I didn't drive. He picked me up. I was like, holy shit, dude. I don't really know like what hit me.
Those things just change your plans for the day. Like if you had stuff to
Oh,
do, you don't anymore.
that's right.
Dude, I
So
have
this is
like
a
I
good
have like
flavor.
six
It's a little beefy.
I have like
Yeah,
6
what?
bottles of 120, I think, in my fridge that are like 10 years old.
You got to break them out, man.
Really
You got to
do. I
live.
just don't know when to drink them. I also found like a Game of Thrones beer called King of the North that, again,
Oh,
I must
nice.
have bought when Game of Thrones was cool, so before the last season,
That's how.
which was a billion years
That's when you
ago, right?
know. That's how you could date it. Well, when was this really popular? And
Must be from like 2016, 2017. Like everything cool that I have, all the music I like, all the clothes that I own, everything it pretty
frozen in
much
time.
stopped at 2017 because that's when I had kids and that's when like all my priorities got turned upside down and I have no money for myself. It all just goes to their stuff at this point. So
Mm.
that's why the beer is from 2017 or 16 because that's the last time I got it. Last time I could get it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Last time you could get it. So it's it's that matured hoppy flavor. Once that alcohol content gets up, it changes.
What does that come in
I'd
at?
say it's like
What
malty.
ABV?
It is ABV 9%.
Whoa.
IBUs are about 90, they said. 90,
Okay.
90 IBUs.
So is that a double
So
IPA?
they have it as an imperial.
Okay. So pretty much the same thing. Wow, I didn't realize the 90-minute was that intense. I don't think I've had a 90-minute
Mm,
since that tasting we went to all those years ago.
wow.
Just
Well, they
because I
have
was so
90
just
on tap sometimes, which is pretty good.
yeah. I've definitely seen it around 60 seems to be the one that they usually have. That's a
Yeah.
little lower key. I think it's
Yeah,
still
60 is
considered
normal.
still an IPA, yeah. That's Dogfish Head they make some pretty solid beers. There's you can't go wrong. If they're on draft, it's a pretty solid choice.
Pretty solid. I want to go visit the brewery. That's the one in Maryland, right? Oh, Delaware.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Delaware, yeah.
I think somebody was telling me they have like a restaurant, they have their own hotel, and like all right by the brewery.
Yeah, I
They
think they
do a
have a
big bike
couple
ride. They do the
different.
bike and brew,
Okay.
and they like you could stay there. They say that's one of the better tours. Like you could just stay there for a weekend and just kind of a lot of guys will go with a bunch of buddies. They'll bike ride, they'll hang out at the thing, but they have like food and they have everything right there, and it's all dogfish, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, is it in Rehoboth or somewhere near there? I think they may have
Mm,
either some sort of facility over there. Yeah, I was at something once. I forget if it was a wedding or we were somewhere in that general region, and I had this idea of stopping there on the way home. And of course it didn't happen because, you know, life. But yeah,
life happens.
I think you might have mentioned it back in the day, and that got me thinking like, oh, that'd be a cool place to stop at on the way back home. But maybe
That's
one day.
pretty
I just
cool.
feel weird going south. Anything south
Yeah,
of New Jersey, I just feel like I don't know. I
feel
just feel
wrong.
gross
Feel
driving.
wrong and
I don't
dirty.
know. That just like Virginia, like Delmarva, the whole Delmarva region. It just feels I don't know too close to DC. I don't know. Just me.
Huh. Yeah. So they have a bunch of restaurants. That they have distillery
Oh
and
wow.
they have the beer. I'm like, I didn't know they got into spirits.
Wasn't there a TV show about them once?
I don't know.
I could have sworn there was like a TV show or docu-series or something. Oh, they're owned by
And
Boston
they have
Beer.
an inn. Oh, are
They're
they?
they're owned by Boston Beer.
Nice.
Look at that.
And they have an inn. That's the one. The inn is in
2019, they got taken over by Boston Beer. And very bizarre.
Oh.
So the guy who started it, Sam Calagione, he started brewing in his kitchen in New York City, where he created his first beer out of overripe cherries with his roommates Ken Marino, who was the guy from Eastbound and Down,
Oh.
and Joe Lo Trulio, who's like the weird guy in all those. He was on like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He was in Superbad.
Oh, I
Reno
think I might know what you're
911.
talking about.
He's been in like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
He was in I Love You Man. He was like the annoying LA Galaxy fan, the squeaky voice. In Superbad, he was the guy with the car who like accidentally hit Seth, which was fat Jonah Hill's character, and took him to that party. Oh, that movie's so good. But yeah, I could have sworn there was
this
some sort of
place looks
show.
awesome. So they have an inn, and in the inn they have like packages with like e-bike rentals, and I guess the beer's all included. And they have freaking and they're like dog friendly. So they actually have a dog bark, which I guess is their version of a dog park.
Mm. Yeah, there was a show called Brewmasters. Only one season in 2010, focusing on that guy on the Discovery Channel. Show focused on Sam Calagione, founder and head of Dogfish Head Brewery in Milton, Delaware, and his staff as they search the world for new, ancient, and imaginative inspirations for beer.
That's pretty cool.
Look at that. Kind of cool.
So I guess this is kind of near one of the breweries. So they're brewing and eats. The pub where Sam Calagione started Dogfish Head over 25 years ago.
Nice.
So I guess they still have that place called Dogfish Head Brewing and Eats. Rehoboth Beach. Yeah.
Rehoboth Beach. There you go.
So that's where he started it. But I'm really interested. Now I'm looking at their distillery. They make gin, honey rum. They make vodka, peanut vodka, roasted peanut vodka.
Sounds terrible.
They got a whiskey. They have a pumpkin liqueur. So they make the pumpkin head, right? That's the one they make.
They make the pumpkin head. Pumpkin.
Okay, they make pumpkin liqueur.
Okay.
So
which their pumpkin beer is one of the best ones.
Yeah. That's why I'm like looking at this pumpkin liqueur. That probably sounds pretty good to me.
Not they're going to find pumpkin beer now because it's Halloween. That means that they've already got the Christmas ales ready to go.
You can't find them anymore. Yeah. Pumpkin's gone. We're already on.
I did find a good fest beer, a local one.
Did you?
The Carton Festi this past weekend that I had for our little Halloween party.
Nice.
It was really tasty. And everything was looking wonderful till one kid smacked another kid with a Cabbage Patch Kid right in the face. And the kid had to go get stitches. Dude, you got enough. You had 10 6-year-old boys around. Like it was Lord of the Flies live. Seriously, we're watching them play. I'm like, someone's gonna bleed. I know this. And lo and behold, within half an hour, someone got smacked in the face with a Cabbage Patch Kid.
Oh, shit.
And their faces are hard ass plastic. And it busted the kid's lip open. He was bleeding all over the deck. Had to go to the hospital. The kid who did it got upset. They had to leave. It was a Cabbage Patch mouse. Like a Cabbage Patch Kid with like a mouse outfit. Like it was such a ghetto ass like Marshall's purchase. Like who the hell wants a mouse kid? Like that's disgusting. Like I kill mice in my basement. I got like I've killed 4 I've caught this year already.
It's not about the item. It's about taking the item that is it's yours. You gotta send a message.
I don't know.
You smack a kid or two with a Cabbage Patch and people fall in line. They're like, I ain't messing with that kid. He's got a Cabbage Patch.
That's right.
He will mess you up.
So have him like a holster with a Cabbage Patch Kid and he's like spinning it around, like sticking it in the holster.
I will mess you up, boy.
You don't want some Cabbage Patch.
You want some of this Cabbage Patch. That's right. So it's distilled from Dogfish Pumpkinhead Ale.
Mm-hmm.
Or pumpkin ale. And they actually have a recipe for an pumpkin old fashioned. Looks pretty cool. Whiskey, the pumpkin liqueur, and Angostura bitters.
Okay, so instead of using the vermouth, you're using the pumpkin.
Yeah. It's only half ounce of liqueur. Yeah.
Well, that's about what you'd put in. Well, usually it's 2 ounces of rye or bourbon to 1 ounce of vermouth, then the bitters for a Manhattan. So they
Yeah.
call it like a punk hatton or something?
Yeah, it looks good. I'm glad they're distilling. Why not? Right? Like you're that established. You're like, let's start doing this stuff too. So they make that pumpkin out of the beer, and then the other stuff, I guess they just make. They got their gin, vodka, all that stuff. So they must have a whole full distilling thing.
Yeah.
But they have all these different flavors of vodka, and they have one called Booze for Breakfast. It's a 20%er, Turo malt coffee, maple syrup, molasses, scrapple, nutmeg, cinnamon, brown sugar. If it's the scrapple I'm thinking of, that's gross. So tasting notes: deep mahogany, spice of sage, nutmeg, and cinnamon. Warming sensations of cinnamon, nutmeg, with pleasant coffee notes. Mouthfeel: smooth, creamy, and coating.
Mouth feel.
So back in 2017, when the distillers borrowed some beer for breakfast, brewed with all sorts of breakfast ingredients, they took this tricked out stout, distilled it, and let it age in used bourbon and new char American oak barrels for 2 years. The result: a medium-bodied whiskey with a delicate malt caramel backbone with a bit of spiciness from the scrapple. Yes, scrapple, one of those breakfast ingredients we mentioned earlier.
Damn. Well, that pumpkin liqueur is only available at their Milton Brewery and Rehoboth restaurant.
Yep.
So you have to go there to get it.
This one, Booze for Breakfast, they say it's a rarity at only at the Dogfish properties.
Okay. I kind of like that. Like you really got to want it. You got to go there to get it. So anyway, so my app right today. So we're doing this on Thanksgiving, not Thanksgiving. Oh my God, it's Halloween.
We're thinking about Thanksgiving.
Losing my
It's
mind. Halloween.
Dude, you got Christmas decorations already to put up, don't you?
Seriously, my wife has been playing. Well, the kids they love the Grinch, so we've been reading the Grinch all summer. So
Nice.
I don't know when Christmas officially started for us. It was months ago, and we're talking skiing.
What do you do on
we're
Christmas?
Do we think
steal
snow all the time
from other kids?
Well, there's a sequel to how the Grinch stole Christmas.
And he gave it all back.
At Costco, it's how the Grinch. Yeah, I saw that how the Grinch lost Christmas. So there is now. They went to. I mean, what a hack move by whatever the Dr. Seuss company, whoever
rewriting history. Can't do it, man.
They've added another book where apparently the Grinch lost Christmas now. Dr. Seuss rolling in his goddamn grave. I can't believe they went to they did that. But gotta make money.
Them.
Nothing is sacred.
How the Grinch stole winter. How about that? Stole the entire season.
Well, all I could think about when I read the kids the whole Grinch book is how he lives 3,000 feet up at the top of Mount Crumpet. I'm like, dude, they must have epic skiing right out of his cave.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 3,000 feet of vertical above the town. It seems like a pretty
right in
ski town.
Dude,
why hasn't Vail gone in and swooped up Mount Crumpet? Seems like
Vail
stole smart move.
Still Grinchmas.
Maybe the Grinch could be the perfect Vail employee. He was the Vail CEO.
They should put a logo Vail thing on his Grinch suit.
That would be perfect.
They could just fucking brand everything. Is he having pizza? No, it's Pizza Hut pizza.
So it's Halloween, and it's been a long day. It's been a long couple days with Halloween, and we had a Halloween party, like I mentioned earlier, about the kid blasting another kid in the face with a Cabbage Patch Kid. We were drinking a couple beers that day.
Dude, you gotta tell him about that when he gets older, and he's gonna be like, "No, I didn't do that. I got video of the kid."
I tried looking on the camera on the deck footage, but we didn't get it. So
darn it.
But anyway,
new way to go to have it unseen by camera.
Yeah, it's like the Zapruder film. Back into the left. You can see his head go back into the left when the Cabbage Patch Kid struck him in the face.
That's right. How could he strike him from the left when he was standing on the right?
Yep. There was another Cabbage Patcher from the grassy knoll.
There's another assaulter from the grassy knoll with a GI Joe.
We were boozing over the weekend, and we've got Snowbound Festival coming up this week, so we'll probably throw a few back while we're up there. So I've got to stay hydrated.
We got to
And
figure out where we're going to throw them back.
I'm thinking because of where our hotel is, we might be doing the Lord Hobo Brewery, which is
I like
there.
Lord Hobo.
Lord Hobo
Where
is
is
solid.
Trillium in comparison to where we are?
Not that far, but
That's far,
farther
right?
than Lord Hobo. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We'll still
just
figure.
stumble.
Yeah, we'll
Stumble
have it out
everywhere.
there on the socials. We'll figure it out. So I'm trying to stay hydrated, and that's been my big thing the last couple months is find different electrolyte hydration packs and jars and that kind of stuff.
Because water just doesn't do it anymore.
Need more, baby. Need more. So I had one over the summer. I think it was the pickleball cocktail. It was the orange, which is good. It tastes like Tang. If Tang's your thing, you'd like that a lot. But I got recommendations from other people who said go with the blue raspberry. So I got the pickleball cocktail, blue raspberry, and I got not the individual packets. I got the whole 60 serving little jar here.
Wow. How is it?
Stuff, it's so good, actually. So sugar-free electrolyte drink mix. It's only got 10 calories. It's got magnesium. It's got chloride, which I thought was bad, but maybe that's a good thing. There's not much to it, which is good. Pretty solid ingredients. Take one little scoop, put it in 16 ounces of water. I put it in 32 ounces of water. I need to dilute it a bit, otherwise it's too sweet. But
are there little bits of beef jerky in that too?
Liver chips. I just sprinkle my liver chips there.
You still eating those?
Oh, dude, every day.
God damn, bro.
Jacked AF. That's because of that. I'll bring some to Boston. We're gonna have elk blood, the drink, and we're gonna have liver chips. Just doing feats of strength, and
I gotta buy some Chuck Norris water to walk around with. I'm gonna go to Walmart, buy that fucking Chuck Norris water, and just walk around kicking ass.
I saw your Sunny D, the hard Sunny D at the liquor store this past weekend.
The hard Sunny D. You saw it. There you go.
Christ, yeah.
It started at Walmart, now it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Taking over the world by storm. Look out, White Claw. Here comes the D.
The D's coming for you. You're gonna get the big D.
But yeah, blue raspberry.
You need the big D.
This is delicious. It's sugar free. You get some electrolytes. Get hydrated because you're probably dehydrated. I'm looking at you, talking to you. You're probably dehydrated. Get some. So that's what I got. Blue raspberry. It's not even a real flavor. It's just this weird color blue, but it's delicious. So check it out.
That'd be cool if there were blue raspberries, right?
Man, aren't they blackberries? What's the difference?
I know. I don't know. Some mad scientist or Willy Wonka would have made blue raspberries.
There's no blue food, man. Someone has the blue food.
That's like blueberries when you open them up. They're not blue inside.
They're purple. They're like a
blue
yellow
on the outside.
but they're purple.
Yeah.
So
they're purple.
George Carlin. Someone has the blue food. He's got a whole bit about that. Speaking of the blue food.
Let's go to ski news.
And oh, what a day it was at Arapahoe Basin, which is the second resort to open.
Boom.
Big shout out to Ward Mountain out in Massachusetts, who just completely pulled it out of nowhere to be the first ski resort to open in, I'm not sure if it was North America or the US, but they just came out of nowhere and they just took everyone by surprise. It had one little white strip ready to go, but it was enough to be officially the first place to open. So they're in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, which is between kind of Worcester and Boston, right outside of Worcester. So yeah, they pulled it off, and now it's 52 degrees and rainy there. So that kind of tells you like they had just one little tiny window to make it happen, and they did. They went for it. They took action. They achieved greatness. They didn't wait for someone to tell them they could do it. They went ahead and did it. So great job, Ski Ward.
I like that.
In Shrewsbury.
Let's get your rock skis and just go down it.
Yeah. So A Basin. So this was a cool article. This was someone who actually went there, and they they said, they talked about opening October 29th, which is pretty late for Colorado, but they had a big storm that rolled in. I think they got about, was it 14 inches of snow? Yeah, 14 inches of fresh snow, 24 hours to opening day. While it didn't feel like a typical powder day, the fresh snow was definitely fun. Energy of hundreds of stoked ski bums was infectious, and the people watching was entertaining. And man, did the ski bums deliver. It didn't matter that the day started out at a balmy 10 degrees on the mountain. Many people still donned their best costumes. And this person said they rode a chairlift with a unicorn who was kind enough to let me touch his butt. I was passed by the Pope in line, which eased my Catholic guilt for skiing on a Sunday. There were lots of capes, proving not many people have seen or remember The Incredibles. Hilarious reference there. Strangers shared lift line beer and snacks with a smile and a fist bump. And this is all the happy part of it. But what was hysterical is that I don't know if you saw the pictures of what A Basin looked like. Yeah. And the lines where they were, let's use bad in quotes. As folks in the Northeast, it really wasn't that bad. This is what it looks like at any of the big mountains on a weekend, a holiday. And it's funny because my sister, she was all like, "Hey, I'm going to A Basin on opening day. Like, how are you guys doing in Jersey? Like, F you." I'm like, "We got a Halloween party." And then my sister just randomly texts my wife like, "Oh, where does your dad live in Norway? And would it be cool if if we visited him or thinking about going there?" And I said to her, I'm like, "You live in Colorado. Why are you going to Norway to ski?" I'm like, "That's traveling from Colorado to Vermont."
That's because they got outshined by somebody else that was like, "You haven't skied Europe? Like you haven't skied?"
Well, no. And then her response, which is hilarious, she's like, "Colorado skiing isn't that great." She's like, "Snowpack is really dangerous and there's so many tourists, no culture." I'm like, that is the most Colorado
the culture comes to you
thing to say. And then I said,
embrace
it. Back to her. I said, "The Poconos has culture and the snowpack is not dangerous."
There you go.
Of course, true. Ended the conversation. Is there anything
It's been
worse?
radio silence ever since.
I will tell you, there's nothing worse being an East Coast skier than a spoiled, whiny West Coast skier. There's nothing worse. They have no idea how good they have it, and nothing is ever good enough.
Well, the best was we're in Jackson Hole getting ready for our first day out. Beautiful bluebird day. And there's a kid almost throwing a fit in the lodge saying to his parents, "I don't know if I want to go skiing because it's not that great out." We're like, I see like one cloud in the sky, dude. Like that's really bad. Like it's ruining your day. Like I'm glad you're gonna stay in.
I only ski on days where it's 15 more inches of fresh pow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And sunny. And bluebird.
Ugh.
And a good temperature. Like really, like how many more?
Unreal. Yeah.
Unreal. Like, but you get used to what you get used to. I don't know. I go on a ski run and there's no ice. I'm like, it's too goddamn non-icy.
Yeah.
Too non-icy. Can somebody harden this up for me?
Man, any day on anything even resembling snow is a damn good day.
It's a good day.
At least that's how I look at it.
Oh, man. I agree. It's crazy. All right. So next up we have Young the Giant, McMaster Mike.
Modest Yahoo.
And 220 Kid headline 2023 Stifle Killington Cup Vermont Entertainment. This just hit the news, and I guess they're doing all the, what's getting set up for Killington this year. It's getting bigger and bigger, and I think now it's a thing now. When we were up there, it was just kind of like, they're going to try this out and see, and now it's like, oh no, this is happening. I don't care how many crevasses, how many things we got to tear down and build up. We're making this thing happen.
We don't know how bad. We don't care how bad we got to piss off Greenpeace by bringing excavators and dumping snow. We'll
We'll
build an ice machine and dump it into the crevasses, fill it up.
We'll build an ice conveyor belt from freaking Alaska all the way across to deliver all that fresh snow to us.
We will get all the cans of fake snow from every Walmart in the country and make this place fake snow. We don't care.
That's
We will
right.
get. We will have
Fake
this race
snow.
here.
That's right, Greenpeace. You gonna stop us? Was it Protect Our Winters was the one, right? And they were out there
Both
just
of them.
freaking
Protect
protesting.
Our Winters and Greenpeace. They will do what they have to do. You
Green
see
Our
nothing.
Winters and Snow Peace.
You see nothing.
All right. Killington, Vermont, they just announced that they're going to have concerts on the Kona Big Wave stage, which is a new sponsor, I believe, throughout the weekend, featuring Young the Giant, Mick Master Mike, and
Modest Yahoo.
Modest. Yeah. And 220 Kid. Kicking off the Entertainment Friday, which includes athlete bib presentation and fireworks display, will be 220 Kid with over 15 million monthly listeners and 900 million streams. You know, they talk about them. Then they're saying Saturday, Mix Master Mike, and it's going to go all the way through Sunday. So they got a whole lineup.
And Mixmaster Mike has been called the world's greatest DJ by the source of DJ information, USA Today.
Boom. By mixmastermike.com.
Yeah. By Mixmaster Mike's mom.
By his mom. By his bros.
All respect, Mixmaster Mike. We're just talking smack.
So they're saying the 2023 it's a Stifle Killing
Stiefel
sponsor. Stiefel is fully ticketed event. So all attendees will need either a general admission ticket, grandstand ticket, or VIP ticket to enter the festival village. So they have the village and the concerts. Like, I don't know if I'd recognize Killington if I went back during World Cup time. They like create stuff that's not there normally, and then they tear it right down.
It's like in the Olympics,
kind of
when
like
they build those like temporary basketball stadiums and just fold them up and ship them somewhere else after.
They're like, let's just take down this mountain. We'll put it up later because it's blocking the view. You know.
Yeah.
Why don't you build the big air thing right next to the nuclear reactor that's right there? That was the last one, right? That was
the last Olympics in China.
In China. Well, the next ones are good. We got France for the summer coming up next summer, and then Cortina, Italy, where I broke my shoulder. I broke my fucking shoulder. That's what I said. And that's 2026, right? Winter.
2026, yeah. So we're about halfway there.
2 good Olympics to even hang around in, either French food or Italian food. It's a no lose. Cortina, flying to Venice, just truck up right there.
Yeah, you could do a lot worse, right?
There's a lot more places that suck, and I'm sure China had a few of them.
So Killington, they keep just adding new and bigger bands and bigger, I guess,
Dude,
artists.
They're going to truck in snow just to piss people off. You know it.
And you know what? This year is pretty much the earliest Thanksgiving can be. It's November 23rd. So you got the World Cup happening the 24th to the 26th.
I can imagine a long coat and a guy smoking a cigar like a Tony Soprano's type, and they're trucking in beep, this big fucking truck, all these trucks of freaking snow, and somebody from Greenpeace like, this is wrong. And then I'm looking at him and the person just disappears. I don't know.
It's like I don't seem to see any problem with this. The way we have things.
I don't remember anybody was here.
Well, you ever see those like ice companies? How shady do they seem? It's like Carolucci's Ice Company. It's like, whoa.
Why did the famous Carolucci's have to get nice? Like, where do they
come from? Are they like masters of ice from, the like northern Norway, that their family's been doing this for generations?
Yes, that's the backstory on everything. Best meatballs. The backstory for 300 years, we made meatballs for kings and generals.
But an ice company, like an ice company, like doesn't that seem like the easiest company to run?
That's right. So you say you make ice. You have a refrigerator. You have a freezer, right? You just open it up and take the ice out.
You make some fucking
bring
ice
it over
cubes. It's like my refrigerator does the same thing.
Hey, look at this funny man. Hey, funny guy, you gonna make some fucking ice for me now? Come on over here. Come here, you little. Look at this fucking guy making the ice. Open his freezer. Look at this fucking guy with the ice.
Killington's going to find a way to make this happen. And one thing, it's just, again, the corporate sponsorships, the Kona Big Wave stage. Because, you know, when I think the middle of Vermont, I think Kona. I think Kona, Hawaii. I mean, the two of them, I mean, they're almost the same climate, really.
We're going to be on the Bic Shaver Gillette center stage.
Yeah.
Like, what?
The Bob's
totally
Big
unrelated.
Boy center stage.
Bob. Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Like, there's nothing chain anywhere like near Killington, but yet they're going to have the Kona Big Wave stage.
Well, that's like live with the golf just disrupted because they were offering like a shit ton of money. And you got to do like Europe, give them like, you know, where they get sheep or cows or something like. Give them like, I don't know, it's Jersey. What do you give them?
You've won 3 goats. Congratulations.
You've won a garbage truck, an entire garbage truck. Good luck shipping that anywhere.
It's actually it's a slightly used 2019 Freightliner garbage truck.
That would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
Just give away random shit that like is hard to get rid of. Like, here's 20 barrels of oil. What the fuck are you gonna do with barrels of crude oil? Like, I don't know. You want it. It's yours. See you later. Sign here.
Go refine it.
You know, like 80 pounds of Taylor ham.
A lot of like, Taylor ham.
People were like, I don't even know what that is. Well, you can find out. Right?
You know, when people laugh about the ingredients in hot dogs, I don't know what the hell's in Taylor ham, but it can't be much better.
It's a big hot dog. It's the same thing. It's the same shit, just bigger.
There's no kale in there.
Like, it's like in Germany, the Leberkäse. It's a giant hot dog in the shape of a loaf of bread. It's
with liver.
It's pretty gross.
I remember going out to a German restaurant with my parents and Andrea, and my dad was like, "Oh, you gotta try the Leberkäse." And Andrea tried it, and she's like, "This is the grossest thing I've ever eaten in my life." It's liver loaf.
The best part is
it's liver loaf.
But you try a little bit, and then you realize I don't like this. But there's a whole other sandwich-sized piece.
There's like 3 pounds left of it.
It's like
seriously. Like imagine a meatloaf. Like it's the size of a meatloaf, but it's like hot dogs with liver. Like that's what it is.
It's a hot dog liver. Oh, it's gross. It's like
that's what Leberkäse is.
They cut it off, and it's the same shape and size of a piece of bread. So it's like you get these 3 layers. It's like a cartoon. Just 3 layers. One little bite, and it's like, oh, you don't like it. And you look down, and you're like, I got this whole fucking like meat and
liver hot dog loaf. That's what it is.
So if you don't like hot dogs, don't eat
and you don't like liver.
If you love hot dogs, it's perfect.
If you've always gone, you know what? I love hot dogs. I love liver. Why can't someone put this together? Boy, are
put
you
it all
in luck.
in there.
Are you in luck, friends?
My hot dog doesn't have enough liver. Well, we
your
have
hot dog.
Leberkäse.
Your liver got into my hot dog. Your hot dog got into my liver.
Match made in heaven. There's somebody out there. Like, and a lot of people love it. And I'm like, yeah, if you could slice it like on a slicer, maybe, and eat it like bologna, yeah, maybe. But even then, it's like a giant piece of bologna. It's like cut like a half-inch piece of bologna, put it on a bread, and eat that. Just bread and bologna.
It's a tough sell. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna see the like Leberkäse, like a Leberkäse company hosting a stage at the
McDonald's Leberkäse.
Yeah, it's a McLeberkäse.
Leberkäse.
Listen, we couldn't source the pork for the McRib, but boy,
what character would they have? You have the hamburger, you have Grimace. And then who's the person for the Leberkäse?
The Leberkäser? Did David Hasselhoff to sell it? Hasselhoff in the commercials. The Hoff Leberkäse.
orange Hoff, like
Oh,
sun drenched orange Hoff.
do you know that like there's that video of him like drunk eating those like cheeseburgers on the floor? Like just get
It's a
like
labor
that
case.
version of him just like eating labor case on the floor. And he's
Oh
like
man.
this is it's like it's so good. It's getting all my energy back. It's sobering me up. I'm ready to go back onto the Baywatch. I'm ready to go start running on the beach. Labor case. If you don't know what it's about, experience it. Get some.
It's but it's that after that first bite, you're like, I don't I don't want this sandwich. Can you have little baby labor case tasters? Because there's no, that big fucking sandwich. You commit to it. Once they cut it off of the loaf and they give you a loaf on another loaf and they give it to you like it's yours. Like
All right,
you can't get out of that.
all right, here we go for the kids menu. Labor tots. You just cut little pieces and deep fry them. Like I don't know, maybe
They're
maybe if
kids.
they're
They
deep
need to
fried, they're
gain
better.
fat anyway. That's right.
Labor tots.
You need you
You say tater tots? No, it says
just
labor
deep fried.
tots.
Just deep fried
Just fried liver tots.
nuggets. Labor case nuggets.
Fried liver nuggets. I don't believe
my
we even
God,
need to do the market research to know that this will be a failure.
It sells itself.
Yeah.
It could be, and that's
America's
where you got
ready
to
for
put on the
this.
pranks. Like, how many of these can you eat? Like, as a prank, and then it gains traction, and it's the hottest selling thing.
Hey man, that ice bucket challenge was a big thing for a couple of weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
The labor tot challenge could be next summer's big thing.
Labor tots.
Labor tots.
We got to call like Tyson's or whoever does like tots and like be like, we have the market on these. Like, we can help you with the market research.
It's like, hey, I got a guy with like 6 tons of labor case in a factory in Jersey. Like we can do something with this.
Could you so do you think you would just cut the nugget and fry it, or you shoestring the nugget and form it and fry it?
I think that's the move. You got to shoestring it.
I think that would be better.
Yeah,
Because just the nugget of pure meat would just be, I don't know. It does it. That's what kills it for me.
The McLabor tot stage. It's going to be a big one. Next year's Killington Cup. I can see it.
We're gonna have those in development this summer.
Well, one place where I'm pretty sure they're never going to have McLabor tots is at the India-Pakistan border, over where Gulmarg ski area is. And this was actually a really cool article. It was a long article, and they talked about on the disputed India-Pakistan border, skiers long for peace. And I'll get into it a little bit later, but I again watched the Warren Miller all-time film, and they of course brought up the famous quote, "If everybody skied, there would be no wars," which in our current macro environment would be a wonderful philosophy for people to undertake. Now, this article talks about 14,000 foot mountain. It's in the northwestern Himalayas. Gulmarg is a vast meadow that starts receiving snow as much as 8 feet by early December. Located in the Indian-administered Kashmir, the mountains and the valley remain under the white blanket for 5 months. Already a busy tourist destination in the summer, snow brings in thousands more enthusiastic visitors from the hot plains of India to witness the otherworldly winter. It also brings the true admirers of Gulmarg, the skiers from Europe and the US. They talked about the photographer Lishan Latif, and the author visited from Delhi for 8 days to witness the convergence of cultures in this winter hamlet. And they kind of talked about there's no residential houses, there's dozens of pitched roof hotels, wooden huts, local eateries. They've big umbrellas out front, a lot of lamb dishes like rishta meatballs, kebabs over rice, Indian snacks like parathas and samosas.
It sounds like a cool mix of stuff going on, like a just kind of cultural showing.
It definitely reflects the culture of the area. It hasn't been, not to sound like snobby, but brought up to standards of what a usual ski resort is, which is why it is so charming, because it's a lot more of its natural environment. But it's cool because it talks about the history of it in this article too. And it was 1947 when India and Pakistan both gained independence from British colonial rule, and that's when the dispute between the border was known as the line of control. It's just a few miles from the ski slope, and it's full of landmines, and there's
Oh,
thousands of
geez.
troops facing each other, ready for combat, which is crazy.
Hmm.
But what's really cool is the history, where it talks about when the British started to overtake India by the mid 19th century. English officers frequented the region to escape the scorching heat of the Indian plains. They soon realized the potential for Gulmarg as an apt ski destination. When the
Hmm.
India Ski Club was born in 1927, British officers hosted annual ski competitions during Christmas and Easter, yet the locals, the people of the Muslim majority Kashmir, had no part. Instead, they lived
Wow.
in impoverished conditions under harsh laws and forced labor imposed by Hindu Dogra rulers who bought Kashmir from the British.
Hmm.
And it kind of, again, goes into a bit of the history, and then the government's shifting. By the late 60s, they started to, retrofit it as a winter destination. Bunch of previous military leaders would go up there, and they would, train in skiing and mountaineering for military officers. And then about 1980, that's when the influx of skiing started, or influx of skiers started, and the government started to invest in the economy, building out infrastructure, putting the chairlift, installing lifts, and then skiers continued to come. In 1987, the government built a gondola to take tourists from Gulmarg village to Kongdori, a large open bowl halfway up Afarwat Peak. More than 700,000 tourists flocked to Kashmir that year, up from the prior year, but the steady growth soon hit a violent roadblock.
Hmm.
Following winter, armed rebellion broke out against Indian rule in Kashmir. So then it became a mess. It was like a hot zone, so people weren't really going there.
Yeah, it's like on the border. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the world accused Indian forces of grave human rights violations, including torture and rape. Human rights organizations put the estimated number of people killed in the conflict in the next few years at more than 50,000.
Hmm.
And then, of course, there were advisories against visiting Kashmir in 1990. The number of tourists visiting Kashmir dropped to 6,000.
Gee.
So from almost 700,000 to 6,000 in just a couple of years.
Wow.
And then in 95, when Al Farham militants kidnapped 6 backpackers, including 2 Americans, in southern Pahalgam, just 90 miles east of Gulmarg, only 1 hostage managed to escape. And the article
Hmm.
kind of talks about this one guy who was one of those, I think he was former military, and he ended up opening a store, becoming a mountain guide, and then his son went on and became
Hmm.
an athlete for he was in the 2022 Olympics skiing for India.
Yeah, and he's like the
He's like a
everybody
huge
knows him there.
celebrity there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
really
pretty
cool
cool.
article. It's always interesting seeing, because usually when you think of skiing, you think of escaping the news and escaping kind of the horrible things that are part of life for, unfortunately, a lot of folks. But this article just is timely, and it brings together life and struggle and conflict and war, and how it can divide people, but it's the area is divided, but the sport can unite people when they all come together
Yeah.
and just experience the mountains. So
They
it's a
talk a
long
lot
read.
about how people go there and see snow for the first time and maybe ski for the first time, which is really kind of cool. Like
Really, really
it's
cool. Yeah.
such a rarity in that region because it's so hot usually, right? Like
Yeah. And
it's
two,
pretty cool.
it's yeah, I mean, they obviously, the people, who are used to living in 110 degrees, coming up there and being in 30 degrees is got to be a huge shock to their systems.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
there's that, but also it's, you know, I I don't know how many people in the area. I mean, India is obviously becoming more of a prominent or prosperous country, it's going to be interesting to see the way this area, what it becomes. Like, can it go on to become something similar to what they have in the Alps? Is there going to be too much conflict in the Kashmir region? Is it just going to, be one of those tricky hotspots that you really got to want to go ski at, like almost like you see in Iran? There's a bunch of really
Yeah.
good skiing a few miles outside Tehran, but who is going to go there, especially now? So
Yeah.
it's all the it's such a like beacon of hope in an area where things are tricky and ugly. And again, back to the war
And they
on
actually at
Miller,
the
if everybody skied, there would be no wars. And it's almost like,
yeah.
guys, we're not going to fight today. You go here, Israel, Hamas, we're all skiing together today. And you know what? At the end, I'm sure we're going to be cool. So let's hop on the gondolas.
Yeah. At the end of it, they actually talk about like this lady with a 9-year-old son that went from New Delhi to Gulmarg to ski, and how they're her husband's an Indian Army officer, so they didn't see each other for a few months, and they're reuniting there out on the ski area, and they're going to ski. And they said he's one of the soldiers posted on the border north of the ski area, and because of this, 7 rifle-wielding soldiers are around him on the snow for her son's safety.
That's so
And that's
crazy.
the life they're living. And that's what it is, right? Like, you never know. That's pretty messed up stuff. It's a hot zone.
Yeah. Imagine if Nevada and California were at war and you were skiing in Heavenly. It's kind of in a way what it would be like. Probably not these days.
Think Nevada?
I think so. God bless you, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Well, think about like that's almost what it's like when you're, if you think about geographically that region, like the Lake Tahoe region. Imagine Lake Tahoe is Kashmir, and you have California on one side fighting and Nevada on the other side fighting. And there's right at the bottom there, or right on the border there, you had armed guards.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
That's in a way what it would be like.
Damn.
Yeah, it's tough.
Everybody hang on the outskirts and just get away from it all, right?
It's tough to wrap your head around. But again, as we're trying to do the things that we enjoy, we talked about earlier how people are complaining about lift lines and snowpack and things are taking longer to open. Man, it should be open already. And you look at what else is going on in the world, like you need to kind of check yourself and just take a deep breath and realize how lucky we even are to be able to do this. And we really should be fighting to preserve that ability by making sure that we kind of keep things in a way that allows us to flourish and allows us to live our lives in a way that we can continue this.
I mean, look around our own cities. We're a lot better off than other people.
It's
like
that whole right? Freedom isn't free.
Yeah, but you got to appreciate what you have too. You know, put in perspective.
100%. Well, speaking of appreciating what we have, we are going to go into the main topic. Snowbound Expo. We are going to be going up to Boston next couple days, and we've mentioned it a few times. We're going to be there from Thursday through midday Saturday. So we're not being there for the whole expo. Can't pull that off this year. But we're going to be there all day Friday, morning Saturday.
Got commitments.
So we got stuff to do. We got commitments, but we are super excited. We haven't locked in nearly enough interviews going up there. So I think what we're probably going to do is just try to meet up with some folks, try to get their info and get them on afterwards. Because it's tough up there to find a good spot, find quiet. I know over the last couple of, either the ski and snowboard expos or Snowbound last year, like there's just the time, the location. It really isn't ideal for setting up interviews, for actually conducting them. There was that in the old expo center, there was that conference room we were able to commandeer, which was nice. But at this new one,
we were able to walk around.
Yeah, it was kind of weird how open it was. Like you would just Find
Just walk everywhere. Just be like, all right, we're gonna go in there.
Go find a
Done.
conference room and go make it happen. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. And one of the things we're trying to figure out is a place to meet up with people on Friday. And I'm thinking the Lord Hobo could be a good spot because it is in close proximity to our hotel, which is nice. But that's still, it's all
They're
still
having the
big.
big. They're having the big 2023 blizzard. They had that last year, and it was like a big kickoff party. So that's Thursday night too. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, that's the one that's going to be at Harpoon, right?
No, that's the Royale Boston.
Oh, it's another one.
Harpoon is the Ski
That's
the East.
Ski the East, yeah.
Night. And that is, which night is that?
That's Thursday also.
That is Thursday. Yeah, there's like all these things going Thursday to kick it off.
Which is why we got to be there Thursday.
Boom.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on there. It's going to be a great time. Hopefully
They
around
open at noon on Thursday. I could probably just go there and meet you.
What opens at noon?
Harpoon.
Oh boy. That's possible.
So hang there at the they have a pickleball social club. You can drink pickleball and play pickleball, but
I could
Brian,
drink my pickleball cocktail.
look at that. Wow, that looks fabulous.
A lot of stuff going on. So yeah, Snowbound. We will be there. And like I mentioned, Warren Miller all time. It was a different but familiar film. I'm not going to get into too many details. Talked a little bit about it last week. It was almost like a highlight reel, which was cool. It showed a lot of, footage from, the history of Warren creating his first film in like the late 40s and just showed and gave a glimpse into ski culture in each of the decades, which I thought was kind of nice, kind of neat. Yeah, it showed a lot of clips from old films that, and love, and a lot of famous skiers and interviews. It was, again, almost like a love letter to skiing, like a history of skiing in the US and North America. It's just, it was kind of hard to even explain the way it like the whole premise of, again, like it's just a recap almost of the whole Warren Miller whole ski history. And I thought for sure, because they're saying it's going to be almost like a two-parter, 74th, and then next year the 75th. I thought they would just go maybe do like the 40s through the 70s or 80s, and then do next year do the 90s to the 2020s. But yeah, they kind of gave you a little recap of how skiing and ski culture and snowboarding and how it all evolved, morphed, changed, and grew into what it is now. Which makes me wonder what are they going to do for 75? How are they going to do this? What's their kind of story?
That's a big number. Yeah,
it is a big one. But if you were reticent to check it out, I would say you got to go for it. It was just very enjoyable. It was just fun. It was like a warm hug, like a feel good kind of experience. And I will tell you one thing: were I going to go see it, it was empty.
Was it?
Not like no people empty, but
Man.
I talked to one of the people at the ticket booth. They said the capacity of the place, I think, is 1,100, and they had like 400 people.
Damn.
I mean, it felt, when you walked into the theater, you were like, whoa, like this is all that's here. Because I know, we've been to those Warren Miller films at that venue in Morristown, New Jersey, and it's pretty packed. This felt like, and not dead, but way less. I don't know if it was because it was still in October. It was a Thursday. People had stuff to do. And I have no idea. I don't know the reasoning for it, but it was a very light crowd. But, again, it was skiers and snowboarders, so people were fired up. People were getting excited. A lot of cheers, a lot of whooping. They had a different concept, too, where they showed in the beginning 3 short films, and you could vote on which one you liked the best. And the people who won of those 3 were going to win like a I forget how much money to continue making new films. It was almost like a new filmmaker award, so it was 3, 5, 6-minute films. That was pretty cool. So that was a little bit different too. And they didn't do the intermission like they usually do. It was like those short films, a break, and then the whole movie, which it was probably an hour, maybe a tiny bit more. So a little bit different. And in a way, it's probably good because you can only do that same form factor for so long. You got to mix things up and freshen it up a bit. And I don't know. It was really good. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I'll probably watch it again. I hope they do what they did last year on Outside. They showed the last, I forget how many Warren Miller movies on Black Friday. They just started at like 8 in the morning, and they just showed them all, and then they just streamed them. And then they were going to show the new movie at, I forget what time, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock or something. So hopefully we'll do that again so you can check out the new one, because it was just fun. It was cool.
Well, that's very cool.
Not the best description, but I think it's just worth checking out. Again, especially if you're new into checking out these movies too. It's good because you can really kind of get a taste of what those old Warren Miller films were like and why there was that draw. And it is nice seeing people from like the 50s and 60s, because they were just showing them just hanging out and partying in Tahoe, like in the early 60s. It just seemed like such a scene. It was cool. So yeah, cool. I guess I say go check it out. We'll talk more about movies too coming towards Thanksgiving. We'll list and recap some of the cool ones that are worth checking out, because there's a bunch of them, and we really haven't talked too much about them.
Yeah, do they have all? They don't have all the trailers out, right? Because I remember now the show this year is about 3 weeks earlier than it was last year.
For the Warren Miller?
No, for the Snowbound.
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks, because they used to have a lot of movies getting shown. Like they do the Warren Miller and the TGR film. This year, I haven't seen anything on it.
Yeah, a lot of it too is the venues they're at.
Yeah,
sometimes they have
the venue and the timing, right?
It's tough too, because you get a lot of holiday stuff starting up in mid-late November. So to find the right time to squeeze it in, because the Warren Miller showing just started last Monday, because they show them all over the North America, and they whatever they can, wherever there's the location that they usually have, because it's always like the same spot. Sometimes there's a few additional ones, but they usually have them in the same spots every year. And a lot of these places have concerts and whatever else, so they gotta find days that they can squeeze them in, because it's not as dependent as, say you have a band and they're making an East Coast trip. They're going from Virginia to PA to New York to Boston. It's harder for them to reschedule. You're not going to go from like Virginia to Boston to Philly to New York. You're not going to, you kind of have to, with this, you're just showing a film. It's,
right.
1 or 2 people from Warren Miller show up and the host, and they just play it. So I think it's a little bit easier to move the schedule around for these versus a band or a play or whatever, because you have more people and moving parts.
Yeah, it's just a bit different.
But shout out to Gabby from Warren Miller for hooking me up with a DVD.
Nice.
So I ran some trouble with my tickets, but she was trying to help me out, so that was kind of cool. I don't have a DVD player right now, but maybe one day I will have one and I can play it.
Gotta save up for that.
yeah, seriously, right?
Remember how much they used to be? It's crazy.
Oh
Craziness.
I remember I got my TV. It was like $200 when I first got my my first flat screen TV. All grows up.
All grows up.
Big day.
Big day picking out a new TV, bringing it home.
Yep.
Damn. I haven't bought a TV in a while.
Yeah.
I think it's time to buy a big ass TV. What do you think?
Go. I got one
like
last
80 inch
year.
screen.
Oof.
80, 90.
That's
something big.
Move. Why I guess stop there. 120.
Bigger the better. 120. Yeah.
Dogfish 120. 120 inch TV.
Get a TV and a
Get 'em
case.
Get them
Boom.
both. King for a day. So a lot of stuff going on right now. We're excited. Follow us on the socials because we're gonna post any whereabouts. If you want to come by, say hello. We're gonna have stickers. We're gonna have coasters. We got coasters made up. So we're gonna have stickers and coasters. We'll have some at Snowbound. Be happy to give them out. So we really appreciate you listening to us, checking us out. We love doing this. We hope you like listening. So let's meet up if you're in the Boston area. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. We're on the socials, X, Instagram, Facebook, Untapped, YouTube. We are at Ski Bum Podcast. Probably best to follow a whereabouts will be Instagram. That's what I'm guessing for, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Send us an email,
You're going to have to DM us.
At gmail.com. If you got any ideas, thoughts, places we should go check out in that area. If you want to be part of the show, you really want to be part, you want to be a sponsor, a patron, patreon.com/skibumpodcast. We're going to have it updated with our newest tier and our actual offerings on there. 10,000.cc if you want to get yourself into shape for a ski season, get some cool gear there. Use the code BeachNighter15. The shop. It goes perfectly with your 10,000 gear. Skibumpodcast.com/shop. Get some cool gear, sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats for the ski season. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. And we'll talk to you guys in Boston or next week.
Stay high, stay fluting.
See ya.